Good morning, everyone. Class 10th D. So we are going to start with the ball poem. So I'm annoyed with one habit of joining late. Already a lot of time wasted. Many students still they are coming. So from tomorrow onwards, I won't be waiting because it was first day after the exams. Maybe you are taking time to come into back to the tunes. Tomorrow onwards, join well in time. Okay. I have already discussed those who are joining with us. We have discussed about the exam. I haven't started yet. We were discussing about the paper only. So let's start now about the ball poem. Before I start with the ball poem, I have written, as you know, already just to save the time, I have written the point. So you just take notes of whatever is written. It will help you in getting to understand the theme or what is the content of this poem. Okay. The ball poem, beta, is very simple poem, a small poem, but carrying a deeper meaning. Okay, again, a young boy lost his ball. You can see it's visible. I have already written in bold letters. A young boy lost his ball. Ball is symbol of childhood. Now, in this point, they will be talking about just a small boy, like any other normal boy. He has lost his ball and he's very, gloomy. He's feeling low and now he's very sad. He's feeling depressed after losing the ball. Children are very attached to their toys. They can't get separated from it. You remember when you were a kid and anybody snatching your favorite toy from you, how would you have reacted? You can ask your parents if you don't remember. Fine, if you have fainted memories you can recall, or if you don't want to recall your memories, you can see any child around us. If we try to snatch the favorite toy of the child starts crying. Obviously he cannot get separated from his favorite toy. Fine. So in this poem, actually one literal meaning is there, then again there is one metaphorical meaning. So a young boy, he lost his ball and he's feeling very low. What to do? He cannot merrily and happily play with it no more. So he's feeling very depressed after losing it. Actually, ball is symbolic of the lost childhood. This poem, the ball poem, would be teaching us whatever we, receive, we have to give back. And whatever a situation is, that situation passes by. That is not a permanent state. Fine. Some people get stuck to one situation. Whenever one loss is there, whether it's a toy or anything, a person, we people get stuck to one situation. We are not able to get rid of it. This poem tells us that life is precious. Live it purposefully rather than wasting your in gossiping, rather than pulling down others, or rather than repenting on the things we have lost in the past. In the past you have committed a lot of mistakes. You might have seen that you have committed mistakes in your PT1. If you keep on sticking to PT1 only, you won't be able to see your half yearly exams in a proper manner. If you want to attempt good, look forward. Always look forward. If we keep looking back, definitely we're going to fall. Fine. This is a deeper thought. If we keep looking back and we are walking further, we are going to fall. Rather than keep looking back, just look forward. Whatever is there, what we can do for the future. Live it purposefully. Everything is short-lived. Nothing is permanent in this life. Everything is short-lived. So relish that particular moment. We should enjoy that moment. And we must accept the loss and move on. This is the main theme. We must accept the loss and move on. Before starting this session, many students, they were having doubts why I scored 8 out of 10 in the letter, why I could not score better in the literature part. Otherwise, I used to get more marks, but this time I could not make more. So rather than repenting, if you keep on sticking to why I have lost 2 marks in my letter, rather than see, how can I improve? How can I keep treading forward? How can I move forward? How can I achieve more? Fine. So accept the loss. We people do not accept the loss. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about all of us. In any situation, it's not about marks. It's about losing people. It's about losing things. these days we have become so materialistic that mobile phones are more important than the parents. We people are so attached to our mobiles and our apps, nobody is supposed to touch it. The moment anybody touches it, you people are hyper, you are angry and you start yelling. So this is the scenario today. Things are made to be used, right? Things are made to be used. But in this scenario, people are being used. This is very sad. People are being used, I must tell you again. Right? One should accept the loss and move forward. This is the major theme. So I would be sharing the screen with you all. Now one student joining. Very good. Jasleen, beta, join Valentine always. Already introduction part is done. So we would be starting with the ball poem. Okay. I hope my voice is clear. Vivan Kumar is entering now. Okay, even then, I'm going to start this. A boy loses a ball. You can see your books, beta. A boy loses a ball. He's very upset. I'm reading that box, highlighted box. Okay, in your book, it is of pink color. In the screen, it is of blue color. A boy loses a ball. He's very upset. A ball doesn't cost much, nor is it difficult to buy another ball. Why then is the boy so upset? Read the poem to see what the poet thinks has been lost and what the boy has to learn from the experience of losing something. Okay, so a boy loses a ball and it is very easy. If he has lost a ball, he can purchase a new ball. It will not cost much. But even then, there is one particular attachment to one object, whether it is cheap or whether it is costly. That doesn't matter. We people get too attached with our objects that we want the same object only, no matter what. So whether it is about that ball or whether it is about something else, that is to be read. Yeah. So we will be reading, what is the boy now who has lost his ball? So the poet, John Berryman is the poet of this poem, beta. You can just learn the name John Berryman. Okay. John Berryman says, the poet sees a boy playing with a ball. Simple situation. He's seeing a boy playing with a ball, and while playing, he loses his ball. What is he to do? I saw it go, merrily bouncing down the street and then merrily over. There it is in the water. I would be better firstly reciting the poem, and then I would be explaining. What is the boy now who has lost his ball? What is he to do? I saw it go, merrily bouncing down the street and then merrily over. There it is in the water. So I would be explaining this stanza. The poet sees a boy playing with the ball, and the boy loses the ball. The poet asks, he poses a question here. What should the boy be feeling now? What are the feelings of the boy after losing the ball? He asks again. He is actually asking the reader, maybe. He asks, what will the boy do now? What will happen? In that way. He saw the ball bouncing merrily and going down the street, and now it has fallen into the water and lost forever. These 4 lines I have explained. I will be explaining again. Listen to it carefully. If you are taking notes of value points, you can. I am going to repeat it. So poet is just seeing a normal condition of a little boy playing with a ball, and while playing, he loses the ball. Now poet is asking a question, what will happen? What will the boy do now? He saw the ball, the boy saw the ball bouncing merrily, happily, going down the street. He is running behind the ball, ball is going, and now finally it falls into the water, and it means it is lost forever. So poet is asking, what will happen now? What is the feeling of this boy? Clear? Beta, you can write down the question side by side of the stanzas. Name the poem and the poet. Keep your pens ready with you. Stanza wise questions you can note down side by side. Name the poem and the poet. So you would be answering the questions in complete sentences. The name of the poem is, comma, inverted comma start. Sorry, not comma, within inverted commas, the ball poem. The ball poem. And the poet is John Barrowman. Clear? Second question is, how did the boy lose his ball? We will be doing 3 questions per stanza. Okay. How did the boy lose his ball? L-O-S-E. How did the boy lose his ball? The boy saw the boy. Anybody can answer this? How did the boy lose his ball? He was just playing with it. Very simple. The boy was playing with his ball. And okay, Tanya is raising hand. Okay, Tanya, you can speak, beta.
The boy was playing with a ball which was merrily going up and down the street, and then when it went into the water, then he loses the ball.
Okay, fine. Good answer. Fine. So this is pretty easy. You can say the poet saw the boy playing with the ball, and the boy was happily playing with it, that bouncing ball. And but that unexpected thing happened. The ball fell into the water, and the boy lost it forever. Clear? In any other words you can write. Third question is, how does the boy feel now when he lost his ball? How does the boy feel now after losing his ball? Anybody would like to answer? No one is there? Okay, the boy in this, okay, Dakshita is raising hand. Okay, Dakshita, you can answer.
After losing the ball, the boy feel so depressed and low.
Yes, beta. The boy is feeling depressed and low. You can mute yourself, beta. So the boy was playing merrily with the ball, happily with the ball. When he lost it, he felt very depressed and low because he could not help this situation. He could not do. He was having a sense of loss. L-O-S-S. Find this word many students use wrongly. L-O-S-S. Here is a noun, loss. Sometimes lose, L-O-S-E. Sometimes it's L-O-O-S-E, lose. Fine. There are different variations. So use accordingly. Now, I will be explaining but a second stanza to you. No use to say, oh, there are other balls. I'm reading from 5th line onwards. No use to say, oh, there are other balls. An ultimate shaking grief fixes the boy as he stands rigid, trembling, staring down all his young days into the harbor where his ball went. This is the second stanza. Okay, beta? Mark it till his ball went tak. Ultimate means final. Shaking again means trembling. Grief is sorrow. I repeat the word meaning. Ultimate means final. Shaking means trembling. Grief is sorrow. Rigid. Rigid is which cannot be moved. Right? Trembling again means shivering. Staring means looking at one thing continuously. Fine. Staring means looking keenly. And harbor is a place where ships load and unload the goods. Harbor is a place where ships load and unload the goods. L-O-A-D, load. And unload is U-N-L-O-A-D. Clear? Loading and unloading is done of the objects from that ships. That place is called harbor. Clear? All the meanings. So now there is no use of consoling the boy, and according to poet John Berryman, no use of consoling the boy. He can't be consoled at any cost. If he's offered other balls in place of the lost ball, he would not be interested in it. You know, poet is saying that there is no way out how we can console this boy, how we can make him comfortable, because he has lost his favorite ball, the one with it was he was playing. You know, if he would be offered different balls, he would not accept it. Fine, he cannot accept other balls because he was not attached to other balls, he was attached to his personal ball only. Finally, a deep grief overpowers the boy. The boy is overpowered. He's gripped in the feeling of fear. He's gripped in the feeling of sadness and depression. He stands shaking there without leaving the place because nothing can be done. You know, ball has entered into the water. He cannot jump into the water and put his life at stake. So nothing can be done over the loss of this boy. So that's why he's standing steadily at one place, trembling with fear and grief. He could not do anything. The loss of the ball in the harbor reminds him of his childhood. Now comes, this is actually, ball is symbolic of childhood. One day you people will be, you know, missing these things. You people are, you have entered into that adulthood already. So when you will be, you know, getting into that different stages, we keep missing the previous ones, but nothing can be done. This age cannot be stopped at a place. You know, sometimes we were very good when we were kids. There was no burden of any kind. When we never used to go to school, even we would play all the time. These days also you're sitting at home, but even then burden is there. So the loss of the ball in the harbor reminds him of his childhood actually. So the childhood days which have been lost in the harbor of life. Now understand, harbor is the place where loading and unloading of objects is done. Some things enter, some things go, pass by our lives. Similarly, in the harbor of life, many things enter, many things go back, many people enter, many people leave our life. But life must go on, the show must go on. Nothing stops anything for others, nothing is going to stop. Time and tide, I must say, that controversial question. Time and tide. Now who will speak? I won't speak further. We have given enough of lecture on this before this period. Who will answer time and tide dash? Raise your hand. Time and tide dash for none. Wait for none or waits for none? Anybody would like to answer this very difficult question? Okay, Jia, unmute yourself. Yes, Jia Dhawan.
Ma'am, waits.
Finally, you got right answer. Thank you, beta. So, time and tide waits. So, as it is considered, one, you can lower your hand, Jia. Okay. So, they are saying the time and tide waits for none. The boy is going to lose his childhood. Time is not going to stop in between. Clear? So, in the harbor of life, everything will be loaded back. Whatever we have received, we have to give it back. Fine. Things enter our life, they got destroyed. People enter into life, they leave one day. So nothing is permanent. Everything is short-lived. Human life is transitory. Those who want to use good vocabulary, human beings, their lives are transitory. Transitory means ever-changing. Fine. So this is the what poet wants to convey. The loss of the ball in the harbor reminds him of his childhood, and childhood days have been lost and nothing can be done. The child is just standing and repenting over the loss. So write down the questions, beta. I guess only questions we will be able to write and then time is over. Write down the first question. What does the ball symbolize in this stanza? What does the ball symbolize in this stanza? Second question is, is there any use of consoling the boy? Is there any use of consoling the boy? I would be asking the answers to you people only. Let me finish up with the questions. Third and last question is, give the meaning of the word harbor. Give the meaning of the word harbor, H-A-R-B-O-U-R. I already made you write. So I won't be asking you the meaning of harbor now. You would be writing on your own. I have already discussed. You tell me the answers to first two questions. Raise your hands, beta. Tanya is raising hand. Any other child, beta? I want maximum participation. Other students. Where is Bhanu? Where are others? I want participation in speaking also. If you ask me so many questions in writing and all, you interact with me quietly that why I could not score marks and all. I want you people to come forward to participate. Raise your hand. Only 1 minute is 2 minutes are there. Okay, Banu, you can unmute beta and speak.
Ma'am, ball symbolizes losing his childhood that he had cherished for long, and he lost it unexpectedly.
Yes, right answer. You can mute yourself, Banu. So the ball symbolizes the childhood. Fine, you can write in this way. The ball symbolizes the childhood, and the loss of ball symbolizes the loss of childhood. But kai bar kya hota hai? There are very simple things, but we are not able to understand how to write the answer to it. It's very simple thing. The ball symbolizes the childhood, and the loss of ball symbolizes the loss of childhood. There are two different things. Don't intermix this, okay? And second question, who would like to answer? Tanya has raised hand. Any other child? Then I would give chance to Tanya only if nobody else raises hand. No one else is there? Okay, Tanya, you speak.
No, there is no use of consoling the boy as he's so attached to his ball that he doesn't get comfortable without the ball.
Yes, beta. So there is no use of consoling this boy because there are more balls with which he is not attached to. Fine. Nothing can compensate his on ball. Fine. Nothing can compensate his on ball. So finally, a deep grief overpowers him and no one can console him. Okay. So with this, we have done two stanzas along with question answers. So you are supposed to note down these two question answers in your fair notebook. Okay. And do your work side by side rather than accumulating the huge work with you. Do it side by side. I would be asking you to show notebook and all. Okay. Have a nice day and take good care of your health. Okay, beta? Stay at home only.